Hello students, today we will be learning the concept of individual demand and the concept of market demand. Now let's first start with the concept of individual demand. Now what is basically individual demand? So we can say it is demand for a commodity by an individual at a given price and during a particular period of time. See, in the last video we had studied that demand is a relative concept. It is always related to price and it is always related to time. So whenever you express demand, you have to express it in terms of price and in terms of time. So over here we express individual demand as demand for a commodity by an individual at a given price and during a particular period of time. Say, I'll give you an example. If I say Mr. X demands 10 chocolates daily at rupees 20 per chocolate. This is a fantastic example of individual demand because over here the demand is 10 chocolates, time daily, price 20 rupees and individual is Mr. X. So that's all about individual demand. Now individual demand can be better explained with the help of individual demand schedule and individual demand curve. Now what is basically a schedule? A schedule is nothing but a table. Achha, what is individual demand schedule? It's a table which shows quantities demanded by an individual at various prices and during a particular period of time. See, look at this table. Say we have Mr. X, our individual, and this table shows quantities demanded by an individual at various prices. Like for example, at price 1 he is demanding 30 units, at 2 he is demanding 20, at 3 is demanding 15, 4, 10 and 5, 5. So this table clearly shows that when the price is high, Mr. X is demanding lesser quantity, and when the price is low, Mr. X is demanding more quantity. So this table clearly shows inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. So guys, once more, what do you exactly mean by individual demand schedule? It's a table which shows what? Quantities demanded by an individual at various prices and during a particular period of time. And यही schedule को जब हम plot करते हैं in a graph, that becomes individual demand curve. So the definition remains the same. सिर्फ एक ही छोटा सा difference आएगा. यहाँ पे we write table, यहाँ पे we write graph. So what is individual demand schedule? It's a graph. Shows what? Quantity is demanded by whom? Individual at various prices and during a particular period of time. Just if you look at this graph, along the x-axis we have plotted quantity demanded and y-axis we have plotted price. So price 1 demand is 30, price 2 20, 3 15, 4 10 and 5 5, and then we get this demand curve. If you look at this demand curve, we say it is downward sloping and we say it is negatively slope curve. We know about this. Now after this we go to the next one, that is market demand. Now what is market demand? एक का demand के सब का? तो obviously the answer is सबका demand taken together. See, if I give an example like this, Mr. X and Y, they together demand 50 chocolates daily at rupees 20 per chocolate. So what is the demand over here? 50 chocolates. What is the time? Daily. What is the price? 20. And who are those people who are demanding? Mr. X and Mr. Y. So दो लोग का demand है ना. So when it's more than one people demanding, we call it as market demand. So what is market demand? It is demand for a commodity, that is chocolate, by all buyers, Mr. X and Mr. Y, at a given price 20 rupees and during a particular period of time, that is daily. Now what is market demand schedule? It's a table. Shows what? Quantity is demanded by all buyers taken together at various prices and during a particular period of time. Just if you look at this table clearly shows On one column we have price, another column we have quantity demanded. Now at 1 rupees, Mr. A is demanding 50, Mr. B is demanding 100, and the total market demand is 150. At 2, Mr. A demanding 40, B 80, total 120. At 3, 30, 60, 90. At 4 rupees, A ka demand 20, B ka demand 40, market demand 60. And at 5 rupees, A ka demand 10, B ka demand 20, market demand 30. So now just look at price and market demand. Don't look at these. Can I say at lower price the entire market demand is high, and at a higher price the entire market demand is low? Now what is the market demand schedule? Come on, it's a table. Shows what? Quantity is demanded by all buyers taken together, that is Mr. A and Mr. B, at various prices and during a particular period of time. Now when you plot this market demand curve, the graph remains exactly the same. The only thing is quantity demanded, the data will change. The data would be this, and remaining the entire demand curve remains the same. So I want you all to practice this graph once in your book. So now quickly, what is market demand curve? It's a graph. Shows what? Quantity is demanded by all buyers taken together, that is buyer A and buyer B, at various prices and during a particular period of time. With this we finish the concept of individual and market demand. Now students, I want you to subscribe the channel so that you get regular updates on all the videos that I post. Thank you very much. All the best.